Today we're going to do Living Hope in ASL, and as you may be aware if you've watched my other videos, I incorporate signed English as well because this is congregational singing and this is not a performance. So we're going to use this video to go through the signs and show you what I'm going to do. There are a lot of other ways that it could be signed. I may show you a few of those as we go. There are a lot of people doing this song in ASL on YouTube. I was shocked at how many there are, and I've watched a few of them. They're all very good, and I do recommend that you watch others and not just this one. You'll learn a lot. Okay, so Living Hope. So we're starting with how great the chasm that lay between us. And this phrase I'm not doing in signed English. It really will be more ASL. So for how great the chasm that lay between us. This is a sign for separate. But what we're going to do is make a big separation or a chasm between him and me. And so how great the chasm that lay between us. And so you wouldn't want to use a sign like lay for this because chasms don't lie down, so you want to be careful when you do use signed English that it makes sense. So that's what I'm doing, is how great the chasm that lay between us. How high the mountain I could not climb. So we're going to do high this way, and then mountain is going to be rock and going up. And I'll just go from there, basically, from my height, that I could not climb. So I'm going to leave out I, most likely. You could put this in if you want. And for could not, we'll do can't. And then for climb, be climbing like that. In desperation, so for desperation, I'm going to use like depression or despair, your middle finger, and you're coming down like this, and you're looking very sad. And I'm probably going to turn this direction so that in the next part where it says I turn to heaven, I will turn back to where I keep God up here on my left because I'm left-handed. So remember to mirror image me if you're right-handed. So in desperation, and I'll probably do the sign for turn as I turn to heaven, and spoke your name into the night. So you could do spoke like this, or you could do prayed. Your name into, which you could leave out the into, the night. Then through the darkness, you could leave off the then through the darkness. Your loving kindness, tore through the shadows of my soul. For tore, you could do the tear sign or the break sign, or leave it out and just start with through. You could even say came through. Lots of different things that you can do here. So through the shadows. Now for shadows of my soul, you could do darkness, but we just did that on the line before, so I'm going to choose to not do darkness. I'm going to do shadows, which is black, and then putting a shadow, a dark shadow, a dark area, and then of my soul. So here's my soul. If you want to do of, you can just spell it real quick. Of my soul. The work is finished. Work is finished. The end, for the end, you come down and go over the end of your hand. The end is written. Notice I do written backwards because I'm left-handed, so I'm like a Hebrew. Okay, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Okay, who could imagine so great a mercy? Who, we'll probably leave off could for imagine, I usually do an I like this. It's kind of like dream, imagine. You might see this. So who could imagine? So great, and you could actually combine that. Great. For mercy, I'm going to have it coming from God. This is using your middle finger, mercy. What heart could fathom such boundless grace? So what heart, use your middle fingers again, heart could fathom or understand such boundless, I'm going to say no limit. There's no limit. Grace, take your G and come down like that. The God of ages stepped down from glory. So the God, for ages, there are lots of things you could do. You know, you could talk about a future and a past, or a future and a past that way, or, you know, you could do down through the generations. I'm going to use, this is a sign for hour, like going around a clock with your index finger. But if you do a T, that can be time. If you do an A, that could be ages. So I'll probably do a T going around. So the God of time or ages stepped down from glory. I'm not going to do stepping. I'll just have him come down from glory to wear my sin and bear my shame. So this is wear my sin and bear my shame. You can do that with one hand, but I usually use two. Sorry, I'm getting a low battery here. All right, so the cross has spoken, or you could do shown. You know, the cross has shown rather than, because crosses don't really speak. So that might be better. Cross has shown that I am forgiven. The King of Kings calls or names me his own. Beautiful Savior, I'm not, you could do I'm yours forever, but I think what might be nicer to do is do beautiful Savior and then do this for I'm yours forever. And you could do the forever. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Okay. I think we're going to do the second half of the song in a separate video. So we'll see you for part 2.